Alright, so a little advice. Pastor Joe Fox, Pastor Dell. Pastor Joe Fox has run through some issues. Somebody was robbing video channels or something, some imposter thing. It takes a little time for the YouTube stuff to catch up with somebody who's doing those video ripoffs. Usually catch up with it fairly quickly and straighten it out. At least that's what I've run into. If you've got a lot of viewers, the viewers start thumbs downing the imposter and all that kind of stuff. That's going to happen right away. The other thing is, you could probably take it as a point of flattery, because what happens when it gets shut down is your attention goes up. If your attention goes up, your viewers go up, and the money goes up, all that kind of stuff, if you're monetizing your videos, and if the advertisers consider them worthy of monetizing. Okay, there's a few very rare exceptions where the majority of somebody's videos is this wonderful magnetic personality talking to a video web camera and saying a bunch of stuff that's just so incredibly profound that millions of people want to watch it. That's incredibly rare. Okay, that is very, very rare. There's a few people in our circles of the preppers, survivalistics, military type stuff that can get that. Okay, there's Hibernia's son, there's the Prepared Mind guy. I'm really surprised Prepared Mind guy gets as much viewership and attention, and I don't know what the ad revenue is on that. I'm really surprised he gets what he gets, considering what a lot of the video content is. But I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that it stimulates an incredible amount of discussion in the comment sections of his videos. And when that stimulates a huge amount of discussion, well, that gets attention, and that gets advertisers' attention, and that gets other people's attention, and if it gets attention, it attracts the advertising money. With the religious-based stuff, it is a little different. Okay, it's a little different, and I think it may not carry the same value to a lot of the advertising evaluators. On the other hand, I always have a lot of respect for people who won't e-beg when the opportunity is there to e-beg, because a lot of times that creates a artificial attraction to people that it brings in a different quality of viewer, and then it encourages a different quality of content. And I noticed that crowd with somebody that we did some joint associate video type stuff, because this was an alternative media guy, and his main thing was to do the donation stuff. And I was pumping donations for it because I thought, okay, it's a worthy cause, but I have pride issues where I just really don't believe in begging or asking. And a lot of that had to do with my religious upbringing and my reactions to that religious upbringing, and how that kind of worked, because it was a bit conflicted. And the confliction of my religious upbringing, I would sit down, I would read the text on my own, because there was a conflict in the teachers of these things. I'd bounce between Jewish, Catholic, and evangelical Christian, and Baptist and Methodist type stuff, depending on which parents I was with, what part of the country they were living in, these other types of things, and then how these people reacted with each other, because one group feels that they need to deprogram me from the other group, and this other type of stuff. And so the other thing is, a child, if somebody's throwing hate on you for something that you didn't really do, or that they're psychoanalyzing all this type of stuff, and they're trying to affirm whatever biases they walked in with because you just came from this a certain environment, it's going to probably make you personally cynical, but there's a lot of there's a lot of harsh influence out there. A lot of people that are really, trying to tell you the way it is, and they're lying, and they're self-serving, and they're that bad. And so what happened is the people that I intellectually would agree with the most didn't treat me that good. The people who I would intellectually disagree with treated me reasonably well, and that is, that's one of those things, and so there was, it's where some of the conflicted stuff might show. On the other hand, values that we have, I don't like the idea, and I don't like the people who have or assign high status to e-begging. I don't. I have a lot more respect for people who work. And I think people should be paid well for their work. There's an entire subculture in a Libertarian Party right now where people, as it gets into political activity and fundraising and influence peddling and social capital that people have, there's getting to be an incredible, tremendous disrespect for people who work, for people who earn money the hard way, who produce nice things. I'm seeing a lot of disrespect for that. And the most sickening part of it to me are highly paid, successful people who are not having to do a lot of physical work for the money they have, advocating for sub-minimum wages for people that actually do physical work. That really pisses me off, I'll be honest with you. It really pisses me off. I don't think that soft industry people should be the highest paid people in our society. I really don't. I look and I find people that are administratively, skilled or whatever, but I don't think they should be the highest paid people in society. We all have seen the abuses with the Clinton foundations raising millions and millions of dollars for solving homelessness in Haiti. Well, they raise money in the name of homelessness in Haiti, and then 2 or 3 houses get built. There's no reason for those values that even create that kind of a thing to find their way into religious organizations. I don't think they could. They should be there. Fully established churches, in a lot of the cases, have fully established systems for dealing with these types of things, which are relatively efficient. The Catholic Church, for example. I think people have, relatively even stuff with what the pastor makes, with what the family lifestyle would expect to be, what the charitable type stuff is for this, and what the church is trying to accomplish with a lot of things. When we're starting to have pay-to-play religion, it's a little dangerous. Okay, it's a little dangerous. Jesus traded in the forgiveness of sins, and the Jews criticized him. The Jews of that day criticized Jesus for trading in the forgiveness of sins, whereas they were trading in the entry fees at the temple complex. And it's a little tricky to discuss that, because there are reasons why we have to judge contribution levels with belief systems. Okay, the toil of paying a price for the furtherance and enforcement of a belief system. And I understand that, and I think a lot of that goes with the religious teachers are going to have to embrace a flock or an advertising revenue, or embrace something one way or the other, but I am still not going to respect e-begging that much. And when I look at the churches where the pastor is already having an independent income, and is willing to work, and you can talk and you can minister to people and you can deal with people and all that kind of stuff, I gotta wonder how much money that really takes. Okay, I do the majority of my videos on an iPad that I bought like 3 or 4 years ago, and it works fine. Okay, it works fine. If you're talking about real estate holdings and you're talking about projects for the communities that people have, like Joe Fox and Pastor Dowell have these very successful communities, I think there are people willing to buy in or finance or get involved with and work at and volunteer at some of these community projects, and those are independent things. I don't think it's appropriate to go on YouTube and just ask other people to pay for your home if it's not going to be open to them. Why would I? If I have friends and family members and they say, hey, listen, I really need a home, I need a place, I'd like to help somebody help me buy some land, and then, oh, I want you to help me buy it, but you're not welcome. It doesn't make any sense. And I've been involved with people like that, where I took food to the table, I went and I got involved in this thing, and then I wasn't welcome, and I'm like, okay, but I've been contributing for a while, and now I kind of need a little help with something, and I'm not welcome. I don't think the Catholic Church does that. If I was donating for years to the, tithing to a particular church, and then, hey, I need a little help, they're like, oh yeah, this guy's been tithing for years. So they understand that stuff. Established religions understand that. The only people who don't seem to get it is the voices in their head religion. So in that sense, you probably need to be looking at the tithes and offerings from your flock also, but then they become your flock. They got to be welcome in your pasture. If they're not welcome in their pasture, they're not your flock, and you probably shouldn't be asking them for money.